Welcome back to Views with Hughes or Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes, and today's top story: Disney Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser is closing for the next following days. Now, early in the year, they've made this announcement, also shared with you all before, and we're here to talk about it again. Why? Because I stated before that we're going to talk about it again right about the time where it was set to close. Okay, so interestingly enough, this is starting to happen. Okay, so with that being said, I told you all, like earlier this year, Disney actually revealed their plans to go ahead and shut down the Star Wars themed Galactic StarCruiser hotel, including its final journey from September 28th, which was a couple of days ago, on to the 30th, which was yesterday. Now, I've told you all this before. We all know why they're doing this. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below, about why you think they're closing it. But I'm definitely going to go ahead and share the reasons as well. But this decision goes along with the returning CEO Bob Iger's strategy to turn around $5.5 billion in expenses, leading to extensive job cuts and the abandonment of the Lake Nona project. Now, Ryan Harmon, who is also a former Disney Imagineer and the current president of Zeitgeist, noted that Disney could have potentially made the hotel more successful. Okay, but the only way that Disney could make the hotel successful is to not shoot itself in the foot. Okay, the fact of the matter is Disney went on ahead and decided to go ahead and go be stuck on stupid, and went on ahead and started to be stubborn by introducing, furthering its own version of what they see as Lucasfilm, not the original George Lucas stories, not the original George Lucas content. No, everything that's happening under Kathleen Kennedy as well as Bob Iger. All right. But that said, he did emphasize that the project was not particularly cost effective. Well, that's no surprise right there, because per family is going to be about what, $6,000 per family and stuff. And it's accommodated only 400 guests and necessitating a multitude of staff members at a significant cost factor. Now, Harmon also highlighted that the hotel's immersive experience allowed guests to enact roles in the Star Wars universe, where it could have been, where that was actually his downfall, you know. So let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below as well. He also he has shared the emphasis on constant Star Wars engagement and absence of standard amenities like pools and gyms made it less appealing to average fans and casual visitors, termed as what's called floaters or swimmers. Now, Harmon and his colleague Joe Lancero believe Disney actually targeted extreme fans and stuff who are actually the OG Lucas fans. But the problem is that they failed with the Disney sequels, okay? And this comes to the point where it's also affected by merchandising. It's also affected by what Kathleen Kennedy has said about the fans, as well as what a number of stars from the shows like Kenobi have said about the fans and stuff too, you know? And not to mention, going back to the Last Jedi of the Disney sequels was supposed to be Star Wars. And the fact of the matter is the fans just abandoned the whole thing in its entirety. Okay, you have a few of them that stuck around, but then like majority of them who are OG fans, they saw how you treated them and they just went on ahead and left. Now, they call these what they see as extreme fans, who are actually the OG fans, as divers, where they say they're overlooking the preferences, or casual moderate fans. Okay, now the hotel's high cost. With the hotel's high cost, Harmon did point out that it's tough to justify, especially during economic hardships. Yeah, don't say $6,000 per family, where you can only accommodate like about 400 guests, with the lackluster food and stuff, as well as the fact that the attraction itself doesn't really seem like the kind of Star Wars that George Lucas had in the past. Now, these two, both Harmon and Lancero, suggested that incorporating more original and universally recognized Star Wars characters might have enhanced the appeal for casual fans. But they also used instances like where the initial absence and subsequent revelation of Baby Yoda or Grogu dolls in Galaxy's Edge to illustrate the potential revenue loss due to stacking any rigidity to the franchise canon. But the problem is the fans already recognize that it's not actually, you're not putting out there the actual Star Wars. Just because you have cameos of the original characters and stuff, as well as those from season seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, it's not going to drive the fans back. No, the only thing that's going to drive the fans back is by not only getting rid of everything that Kathleen Kennedy had put out there, not only getting rid of everything that Bob Iger put out there, but also getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy, period. Okay? Along with her story group. All right, giving it to Jon Favreau, or at least giving him the freedom to go ahead and make Star Wars the way he intended it, which was based on what George Lucas had envisioned. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, now we see here that Disney has actually shot itself in the foot. Okay, now both Harmon and Lazzaro's thoughts on focusing on universally recognized elements were further emphasized by referencing the success of Winnie the Pooh's attraction in Tokyo, which focused on well-known moments and places from the films. But the thing is, this is all Bob Iger's fault. It's not only Kathleen Kennedy's fault. She's not the only one to blame for this. No, it's also Bob Iger's fault, because of the simple fact that he's the one that approved of all of these things that's happening with Star Wars, with Disney, and so on and so forth. Okay, it's not all Kathleen Kennedy's fault. Bob Iger shares the blame too. You know, he approved of all of these things happening. Kathleen Kennedy decided to go ahead with it. Bob Iger wanted her to go ahead and put out the more politically driven stuff. Guess what? Kathleen Kennedy went on ahead along with it. And I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you she actually wanted that as well. But the fact of the matter is, all of these things has failed the company itself. It failed them. They failed. And they failed the consumers to the point where the consumers actually left. All right. So now we see here that the roosters coming home, and now they got to go ahead and live with these things. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Let me know what went wrong in the video. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. No, smash the like button, share far wide across social media if you enjoyed everything I shared in this video. If you enjoyed all of the content put out there on the channel, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.